disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Flixx, Kicks, and Flixx, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, on time, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Joe, are you here? I didn't hear anything. I can't hear you, Joe.
Oh, did you literally speak or did you just smile?
I thought he just smiled, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, we ain't hearing nothing.
All right, I'm going to keep on going then. If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network it's us. We're first. On Wednesdays is us. Flixx, Kicks, and Flixx with Gene, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, just check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. Now, yeah, Joe is still, that's crazy because we were literally just talking until I hit record, and then Joe just went out on us. We can see him, we just can't, we can't hear you still. The crazy thing is, I was the one having the technical issues a few minutes ago. I had to switch computers, power everything down. I literally, actually, it's 9:15 right now. I literally have been working on it for an hour, Angel.
Oh, so it was a good thing I called you then.
Yeah. So I was okay with that, man. So when you called, I was like, all right, because I had already been working on it, and I don't know, like I'm on my work computer right now, and it wasn't the camera wouldn't come on, the microphone wouldn't come on. So I switched it and got my other computer, my personal computer, and that was working. So I stopped. I started fixing dinner. And that's when you called.
Yeah.
So luckily I got done with that, ate, got back on, and I saw Joe. I had text with Joe, and I told him when me and him got on here, like I was having technical difficulties. The camera was on, but he couldn't hear me. And I actually I'm gonna take that back. He could hear me, but it was a crazy delay. And then he said I started lagging. So I was like, you know what? It's this personal computer again. My personal computer. I mean, it's an HP, and it's relatively new. I think I got this thing in 2020. So it's just whenever we use StreamYard with it, I just always got an issue. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Like that's crazy. I mean, whatever, man. At least it's working now.
Yeah, at least it's knock on wood. Hopefully it stays. Yeah. It stays that way.
If not, we have to tell people that listen, this one's gonna be a rough one. We have to just work through it on this one.
Yeah, hopefully I'm not lagging on your end right now, am I? I'm not lagging at all, right? Good. I had to take my camera off. I normally use an external camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never use the laptop camera. And I am right now. This is my laptop camera because I figured I was thinking like maybe that's the issue that I'm having. Maybe the camera's messing up.
You know what though? I can see the pictures a little bit. Like you don't look as clear. You know how sometimes you look like sometimes you look like you're in like 4K.
Yeah.
Here right now, so I can see.
Yeah. So that's that camera that I use. So I don't know, man. I might have to just give me another webcam or something. I don't know. Maybe Travis should have one or something. I had to holler at my brother. He got all types of stuff over there.
He literally was that battle? He was like, I literally have like a whole entire like his hotel room was full of equipment. Like you would have thought. What was it that Mallory? What's that Mallory told him? He was like, yo, people thought I was shooting porn in my room. We were laughing. Me and Travis were cracking up because Mallory was like, we left all the equipment out, and he said we were testing the camera, so we were pointing them at the bed. So I bet you when the maids go in, they probably think we're shooting porn in the.
You know what? It's funny you say that, man, because Melissa said the same thing. You know You know, sometimes when I go out of town, I take my lights. You know, I got these stands because I teach virtually sometimes. You know, if Joe can't teach at the dojo for me, or if I can't get somebody to go in to teach while I'm out of town with work or whatever, you know, I'll just go ahead and do it virtually. So I have the laptops, I got the stands, I got the lights, I got everything. And she literally just said that. She just said that. I think when I went down to Kentucky, she said that. Like,
it's the funniest thing. What you call it? Not next week, but 2 weeks from now, probably gonna have my girl on the show with us, but she's gonna be down here. So
okay.
Hopefully, we have a good movie to watch. Because if not, it's gonna be tough.
So you know what you're doing to me, don't you? You know what you're doing to me.
I know. Listen.
You know what you're doing.
Because if I say it now, then nothing crazy. At least I can tell her like prepare for the craziest stuff. No, if we get on thinking everything's gonna be okay, then next thing I know, you come out with some craziness.
You're preparing her for me. That's basically what you're saying. In case I say something crazy.
Absolutely.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
finally.
It's when you came back, I heard you moving around. That's why I was nodding my head.
Listen, she gonna.
Who we talking about?
This girl.
In 2 weeks, my girl's gonna be down here, so she's probably gonna be on the show with us. She got nothing better to do. So I told Jean. I already told her. I've been told her about Jean and about you. But I told her more about Jean.
Can we tell her to throw some ice at you?
Listen. I told her. I said, listen, like
keep up the tradition.
I told her, I was like, one of them though, I was like, he's really crazy. He'll say like the most outlandish. Like, he'll eat kids. Like, he's crazy. Like, what?
I do not eat children. Let's not hurt my business. I do not eat children.
I told her, I was like, nah. Like, he said, if he was Master Splitter, he would have ate his ass with some hot sauce. And you know what she said? She goes, "Is he black?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I knew it." I was like, "Come on, man, don't do that to him." But yeah, so she funny, man. So we'll see.
Reason I say that, Angel, because then your girl's on there. Melissa's gonna be like, "Well, how come I ain't never been on the show?" I got some shit to say, and I already know.
Go for it. We'll bring them all on. Let's bring all the wives, girlfriends, whatever else.
Listen,
go ahead.
That would be actually a pretty good episode in the next 2 weeks. We hype it up. That would be a good episode.
Maybe we do it on like the 200th.
Yo,
and Travis, and then we'll get a text message from Travis like, "What the hell are y'all doing?" Yeah. Like, what? Like, nobody knows these women. Like, what are we doing? Like, what you really think they will watch a martial arts movie together and talk about? They will kill it worse than me. They literally would.
Listen, my girl.
Now, if you're talking about, I don't know about Joe. What about you? Your wife, does she watch those crime shows and ghost hunters and all that type of stuff?
God.
Oh yeah, she watches all that crap.
Yeah, Melissa,
not no ghost hunters, but she likes murder shows.
Yes,
and documentaries and all that.
I just talked to my girl yesterday. I was like, "What's she watching?" Ambulance. I was like, "What's that? Some crime?" I was like, "I don't even want to. Don't even tell me. Don't even."
Yeah. Mel does that. She does all that too. So.
Hey, you know the craziest show she watches though? This show is nuts, and it's just Naked and Afraid.
I think Melissa was watching that also. Like, I don't really watch any of that stuff. Me personally,
I mean, the producer of that show is probably the craziest person on earth because the show itself works, but it's pointless. The only reason that they're out there naked is because it's good for the show. There's no other reason. Being naked has nothing to do with surviving in the wild.
Right.
It's just good for TV because it's freaking hilarious.
I mean, listen, man. Listen. At the end of the day, let's be honest. If I saw a commercial and there was some naked people in the commercial, I'm probably gonna look and be like, "Well, let's go watch the show." At this point,
it's actually a decent show. I'm just saying. Every time I watch it, I go, "There's no particular reason for these people to be naked other than to call the show Naked and Afraid," and that's good TV. Now we have good TV.
It brings
everybody's attention.
It brings ratings. I mean,
I know.
Whoever came up with that idea had to be high as hell. Yeah. Like a normal sane person is not sitting there thinking like, let's put some naked people on TV and scare them.
This is someone sitting there watching Bear Grylls on TV, getting high or something even better, and just going, "You know what would be great? if we put a bunch of people in the wild naked
Yeah,
and
it
made
has
them
to be.
survive for 30 days.
It has to be.
Listen,
So let's get into it, Joe. How was your weekend, man? Me and Angel didn't do any of that yet.
we did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the weekend was good. Nothing crazy. Spent some time with the family. I try to visit my mom's at least 2-3 times a week. And then I talk to her at least every day, at least once, probably more, just to check in on her. But all things considered, she's doing pretty good.
Is that dumbass with the dog acting up or no?
No, I haven't had no issues with that. I had to go over there and talk to him because my son and his son hang out.
Yeah.
So he was very cordial to me, but other than that, like, no issues.
Are you guys still letting that happen, or you guys cut that? You nipped that one?
Oh no, none of that's happening now. That dog don't even come into my yard no more. So.
No, I'm saying you're still letting your kids play with each other, or no?
Oh man, I'm not gonna let none of that affect the kids. I don't care.
Okay. Hey, listen, that's good.
Listen, man, when you have kids, you got to realize like you're gonna end up talking to and hanging out with and meeting people that you don't want to be around all the time. That's a part of it, okay? Like you're forced to be friends with some people just because your kids are friends with them. That's just life, man. There's a comedian that does a bit about that. I think it was Louis C.K. And it's really funny because it's so honest, but it's hilarious. But he's like, it's just true.
Angel doesn't seem like he's gonna go for that when he try to have a kid.
As I'm saying it, I could just picture me like if my girl knows how I am. I can just picture me being like,
"What's up, dumb fuck?"
Like be like, can we go over Alex's house? And I'm gonna be like, sweetie, we don't fuck with Alex. Like we don't.
I can see you saying that to this made up Alex. That I don't fuck with you. I really don't fuck with you. My son and your son are friends. So we
but I can just picture me like in the moment they're saying something. I'm just like, I'll be honest, like, I really don't even want to be here. But like my kid, like, my kid wants to be here, so I'm not gonna take him away from that. But I'll just sit there just kind of with the like. All right, like,
that's the thing though. So you don't got to be best friends with these people, but you got to try to at least get along with them. And there's nothing worse than like when your kids like my kids' best friends, like they always their parents want to hang out all the time and everything. I'm like, I don't wanna.
Yeah, but like, that's not me. I'm more like
I just don't. I don't wanna. Like I barely want to be here when my kid is over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna do my best. But like, go away.
That's funny. Angel, what's up with you, man?
I hope those people watch this episode.
I don't care. I don't really care. You know what? The dad and I are cool for the most part. Like he's cool and all that. But the mom, I could care less what she hears from me. I've said enough to her already. So.
My weekend week, honestly, man, they're all the same. I don't even know what damn day it is.
Oh yeah, how your arm doing, man?
It's all right. It hurts, man. Like I don't wear the sling anymore, which is good. I'm missing physical therapy, and that's like torture. They got me doing at home exercises. They got me doing exercises when I'm there. They move my arm around. It just hurts, man. Like it hurts a lot.
It was your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Do you do that one exercise where you take your fingers and put them on the wall and then just go up as high as you can?
Honestly, I can't even do that yet. Like my arm would tear out. I'm not even close to that type of movement. I know I'm gonna have to do it eventually, but I'm not even close there. Like I'm not even joking when I say this. I think 3 days ago or over the weekend was the first time I combed my hair barely with my right hand. Like just to get my hand back this way. That was like the first time I was able to do it. And even that right there, just doing that, I felt like a little pinch. Like it's just annoying, man. It's so bad. So after that though, there ain't really much else. Like the only thing I got this weekend, I'm gonna go to Ozark Mountain Nationals. My girl's gonna be fighting, and then after that, I'm gonna just be chilling. I'm probably just gonna go to like little tournaments here and there. If anything, me and Travis need to go to, that we're able to make it to, and then after that, just be chilling.
Okay, all right.
Hey, if you don't see me, my nephew, I gotta make sure he's okay. Give me a second.
All right. Yep. So my week has been pretty good. Man, I'm back home, back in Detroit.
How was the trip?
I mean, it was cool, man. I mean, Indianapolis, man, it's not bad. It's not a bad city. People are really, really friendly down there. It's just nothing is around. And if there is something for those who are listening in Indianapolis, if there is something wrong, I didn't know where it was at because I didn't see nothing. For the most part, all I really saw was my hotel room, the hotel, and the streets. The stores I had to go to. There he is.
Oh man,
Angel's replacement one day. Hey Joe, this is what we can do. We can do Fist Kicks and Flixx Junior Edition. I get champ.
Oh,
Angel got his son. You got
my
your
son.
son.
Want to get on here all the time. He always want to sneak up on me or get to me. The one time he did it, we didn't start on time, so he thought he got me and it didn't. But yeah, he always wanted to
watch. Yeah, we'll watch Bluey.
So, like I said, man, Indianapolis was cool, man. I met up with my manager down there. We went around to the stores. I'm taking over the territory. The guy who used to do it, he left the company, so I'm taking over that territory now. And it was cool, man. The area we were in, I think it's called Carmel, Indiana, is where I stayed, which is like the suburb of Indianapolis. Okay. And it's funny. Me and Melissa were driving. She wanted to go. She went with me, but for the most part, she stayed in the hotel room and she was working until I got back, and then we would go out for dinner or whatever. So one of the nights I was down there, I told her, I was like, you know what? Let's just go for a ride. Let's see what's around, And I took the scenic route because I figured, we can at least drive downtown, see what's going on downtown. Yeah. And funny thing, we're driving, and she says, it's a real nice neighborhood we were in. And then all of a sudden, it started to look a little urban. And she says, I see black people. Because we hadn't seen any black people the whole time we were there, honestly. Except for the people that was working in the hotel, we hadn't really seen any black people. And
that's funny. I see black people.
She's like, I see black people. And the next thing out of my mouth, after she said that, the next thing out of my mouth was, I smell weed. That was the next thing out of my mouth.
What are you doing? Oh, yo, we getting canceled. What happened that I left? What happened?
I'm talking about Indianapolis, man.
Indianapolis.
So listen. So after I said that, so she looks at me and says, you think we're in the hood? And I was like, I don't know if we're in the hood. But I tell you what, if we see Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, we go be Joe. About 2 seconds later, there we see Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. I was like, "Yep, we're in the hood. We are in the hood." Okay, but it still didn't look. It didn't. I've seen worse. It wasn't that bad to me.
I was gonna say I would have thought you seen like Peyton Manning Street or something like that.
I didn't see. No. So we go downtown, and there's literally nobody walking around downtown. Their downtown was empty. Really? They had a big mall down there that we didn't go into because by the time we went down there, it was later in the evening, like 7:30, 8 o'clock, or whatever. Yeah, actually, it was like 8 o'clock because we had just finished dinner, and so we didn't walk around, so we just drove around and we were like, wow, this looks like a ghost town. It's just kind of empty down here. So we just drove back to the room after that and stayed there. So I got all my work taken care of down there, made some new connections with a lot of the retailers down there, and hopefully I'll be able to turn things around down there. As far as work
You're
goes.
moving there or no?
All right.
No. I just go down there every few weeks. So every 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to go down there for work and take care of the retailers, make sure they don't need any help or assistance with anything, make sure they're up to date with our promotions and marketing material, and they know how to use the portal and things like that. So
are you how far is that from Michigan?
So Indianapolis was only 4.5 hours. It was not
good.
It was nothing,
that's
man.
Like
especially having
it's like driving up north.
Yeah, after having driven to Kentucky and Nashville and DC, this was really easy. I drove the whole way. I wasn't.
You do that straight shot. You don't even gotta stop for nothing.
No, we stopped one time going down there, and we stopped one time on the way back, and that was it. And that was just pretty much let's just grab some food right quick,
Yeah, but if you didn't want to, you could easily go.
No, yeah, we could, because I didn't even have to stop. I didn't even have to get gas.
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
yeah. You don't. That's easy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
easy.
So it wasn't bad, man. It was a nice cool drive, you know. And I drove down there on Monday and I drove back on Wednesday. And I told my manager, I was like, hey, I really don't think I'm gonna do it like that. In the wintertime, you know, because it'll be dark. It'll be like 5 o'clock,
Yeah,
6.
it gets dark early.
Yeah,
And then
yeah. I'm not gonna be driving. Yeah, I'm
Is
not
it still
driving
on
back
over there?
like that. Yeah, I'll just stay there an extra night, you know, and then come back the following. He was cool with that. He was like, okay, cool.
Do they cover that for you or no?
Oh yeah, everything. Anytime I go out of town for work, everything is included. And
Okay.
the only thing is, I end up using my own money. So now I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my money to come back to me. So
Every
it's just
impression check, man. Listen,
it should get deposited in the morning. So
listen, man. Those reimbursement checks sometimes take too long. It's crazy.
my job is pretty good on that. And normally, you know, since I put it in on Friday when I got back, when I was able to put it in on Friday, it normally takes like 2 days, but because it was Friday, you got the weekend, you know. So yesterday and then today, so I should have it in. Yeah, I should have it in the account tomorrow. So I'll be good after that. Because right now, man, luckily we already have food here.
Good stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the movie. Born a Champion. What did you guys think of the movie?
It's pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You know,
I'm not gonna lie to you. With the way the camera was and the way the movie was shot, I almost thought it was like a 1990s type film.
Yeah, you know, I think it was an independent film. The star of the movie was Sean Patrick.
Flannery.
And he wrote it. He wrote the movie. And I actually listened to some podcasts with him on it. So he wrote the movie. He's a real martial artist, real Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. And yeah, he wanted to write a movie. So I think it was pretty good to be an independent movie.
So I looked up more. The character was fake and fictional.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was based on true events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I think they just threw some extra drama in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when I was watching, after I got done watching this movie, I said that was, in my opinion, I know y'all might disagree, especially Angel, but to me, that was a pure martial arts movie. What do you guys think?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I would say so. It was.
Okay.
It was. Listen, I'll be honest with you, man. Not saying like almost any movie that wears a gi and takes place in dojos and all that sense is like a real martial arts movie to me, but it has more realism than other movies that we've watched.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it almost, even though the movie itself, and not saying this one was, but other movies that we watched that had like gis and dojos and everything, it's been like a little iffy that we didn't give it such a good grade. You can still connect to it a little bit better. So it's like, you know, it's like it sounds so stupid, but it's like watching Best of the Best. When you hear when we did those interviews at Battle of Atlanta, a lot of like guys my age or younger are like, oh, like Best of the Best is like one of my favorite crime movies. And I bet you most of it is because they wear Century gear and they're doing like pump kicks and blitzes. And like, it's as close to what we do as it comes. So like the movie itself, you know, whether people like it or they don't like it, it's just, if you can connect to it on a real level, it's always going to be a decent movie to those people. So like for me, it was pretty decent. That's how I felt about Debt Collector. I think like how we all said, one of the only issues was, what the hell happened with the dojo? That's what it was for in the first. Like literally, he did it for the dojo, or we never heard or talked about it at all ever again. If we would have found out more about it, I bet you we would have been like, that was a good part to have in the movie. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Go ahead, Joe.
The thing about like Best of the Best that you like is the fact that we as martial artists, we can all name people that fit the bill for everybody in that movie, including the coach. Like you can literally go, oh, I've seen that guy and that guy and that guy. Like those are the type of characters that we come across, and then when you see them in the movie, you just laugh because you go, oh yeah, I've known 2 or 3 of them. I know, you know, a guy like that.
Would you say the coach for you guys, would you say the coach of Best of the Best was your uncle and Master Bottom?
I don't think he was that extreme. Like,
I was about to say, like,
James Earl Jones was pretty mean.
Just because of the stuff I heard you guys, because of the stuff I heard you guys say. I mean, I talk with Trav, like me and like Trav helps me out with karate advice every once in a while, and just some of the stories that I hear from Jamon, Willie, all you guys.
Yeah, so let me tell you something. There's depending on who you are, there are 3 different versions of my uncle as a coach.
I was just gonna say there's some multiple.
Yeah, there's a couple different versions
of Sensei
like,
Plowed.
Yeah, he everybody's not treated equally. You know, let's just say that. You know, some of us, you know, went through a little bit more than others. You know? But you know, yeah, he wasn't that extreme, like, you know, like with him. But then again, I've never been locked up with my uncle for 3 months training. You know, maybe he might be like that a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I can see it. I can see what you mean. He has different.
You know, Willie and Regina told some good stories about when doggone it, what's the team? I can't even think of.
SES.
SES.
Yeah, SES. During a SES camp of Coach Plum. So I think that kind of paints the full picture of, you know, that extreme part, because he wasn't messing around from what I could hear and understand during the SES training.
Well, you know, he kicked me off the team. He kicked me off SES, you know, so but he had a good reason. I mean, it was my fault.
Can I hear it? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So I was on SES also, and there was another tournament. I was in college at the time. Mm-hmm. There was another tournament. So we had the Christmas holiday. So I was home for about a month. I go back to school. Now, when I went back to school, my school was Big Rapids, so it's 3 hours away from Detroit. So the day that I go back to school, the Sunday, there was a tournament 1 week later, right? So he wanted me to come back to go to this tournament. It was a local tournament, and I was like, I've just been down there for a month. Like, I'm not ready to come back. I'm just getting back up to school. I just linked up with some guys and we were going to start, you know, doing music together. And I just didn't want to make that 3-hour drive back to Detroit again. I hated coming home because of that 3-hour drive. Driving from Detroit to Big Rapids, you don't see anything, right? And it's wintertime. So now it's snow, it's ice. You don't know what the weather's going to be like. I did not want to drive 3 hours back home, get home at 5 o'clock, immediately drop my stuff off, go to the school, train at the school till like 9 o'clock at night, go home, go to bed, get up, go to the tournament. And at the tournament, at that time in Michigan, there were only a handful of us heavyweights that were really fighting. So it was myself, Mike Gibbs, John Trumseski, and Joe and Greg. You guys might have been in the heavyweight division at that time in like 99. You guys were there, right?
Heavyweight, super heavyweight.
Yeah.
So bigger tournaments.
So I was like, my thing was, I don't want to do all of that to come back and fight people from my school.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I fight with Joe and Mike and John every week, every Friday night with sparring. Like, I don't want to come back just to fight them and then go back to school on Sunday morning. I was like, that sounds horrible, you know. So he was like, look, you either do it or send me back the uniform and bag. And I was like, well, damn. So I looked at Ski and was like, here you go. I sent it back, you know. So, but I don't even really have any regrets about that. Hey, Angel can't believe it. He just stuck.
I mean, I like. There's the thing, man. I can't say. I'm not gonna say. I mean, I understand from your point of view. I get it.
I get it from his point of view too. I get it.
I feel like I'm stuck is because it's like
no. You were literally frozen on the screen.
I'm like surprised just because I'm like I travel like 6 hours sometimes all the way to Virginia just to go train, and I'm probably there. I probably get there like Saturday night at like 10, and I leave by like Sunday at like 5 p.m. So I'm there for like less than 24 hours.
Oh no, I get it
4 times in a day. So that's why I was like, holy crap! Like,
I'm gonna tell you, like. You have some people. I tell this to students all the time. You have, when it comes to this activity, you have people who like this activity. You have people who love this activity. You have people who are in love with this activity. And then you have people that are obsessed with this activity. I just love fighting. I wasn't obsessed with going to every single tournament.
That was a good point. That's a good point.
That just wasn't me. That's why I've always been. I was always the one when I didn't have to go to tournaments. When I just could start picking what tournaments I would go to, I would stay at the school and run the school while everybody else would go to the tournaments. I was cool with that. Like like I said, at that time, like fighting in the heavyweight division, like I wasn't fighting anybody different. It was always us in the heavyweight division. So it is what it is.
No, so. I got you. That's a good point. I'm probably gonna use it at my school. I never heard anyone explain that.
Oh yeah. I use that all the time, especially when people are thinking about quitting karate. Or I get it. You like it. You're not in love with it. Like you might be happy being a green belt for the rest of your life. All right, that's what you feel. Then that's what you feel. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so let's get into the movie. We got 30 minutes.
All right. This movie is kind of set up at the beginning. They're like interviewing a friend of the family.
Okay, hold on, Joe. I don't mean to cut you off, but I have a question.
Yeah, you good.
When you guys saw this part, did you think that man, what's the name of Sean in this movie? I did not. I don't have any notes pulled up.
Is it like Jack Kelly or something like that?
Something. Hold on.
I just had it up. Mickey Kelly.
Yeah, Mickey. Now, did you think he was dead based upon how his friend? I don't even know if they call him Taco. That's his name. It's Taco.
Yeah, I mean, so he starts off. They want to know like how they met each other and how they became friends, and he talks about this fight that was happening, and Mickey took out all the people without even throwing a punch. So Mickey he's a Marine and he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes. Now hold on. Yeah. Let me say something that's kind of important to the movie. Yeah. This movie is set in the 90s. So actually we probably got 10 years that we're. Yeah, well, we got 9 or 10 years. So I think it starts somewhere around 92 and it ends around 2002 or 1. I think it's 2001.
Yeah, so he trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie style, all that. He kind of talks and grazes over that a little bit, but so he's talking about this fight that happened, and at the end of the fight, because the people were making fun of this gentleman because he was of Latino persuasion, and so at the end of the whole fight, the guy, Mickey calls the guy Taco. And he's like, "Oh, I thought these guys were your friends." It was a joke, obviously, but so now his name is Taco throughout the whole movie. Did they even say what his real name was?
Nope, but I saw it because I looked on online and I saw it. And hold on, let me pull it back up.
So they're explaining some of that.
Roscoe, his name was Roscoe. They never say that. If they did, I missed it.
Never once did I hear that. So he's explaining that, and then they go into Mickey. He's on an airplane, and he's headed to Dubai. And I guess he's going there to help teach a class. But when he gets there, he's teaching a class with this emperor and his son. The son brought him in. So I don't know. Does that make him a prince or something like that?
I don't know. They didn't really say that. If they did, I missed it.
Whatever it is, that's straight royalty. So
yes.
He's talking on the plane, and there's a situation where there's a wife and a husband or something got separated a certain way on the plane. So he asks a lady to move her seat and ends up sitting next to him so the husband and wife can sit with each other in first class. And her name is Layla. So they're talking, and she's talking about she's being a model, but she's also going to be a paralegal as a backup plan. And then he's telling her about the fighting, and she says she can't stand fighting. It's da-da-da-da. So they're kind of building a rapport and everything like that. Well, then when he's teaching this class and he goes to dinner with this, group of people, he ends up seeing Layla, and she kind of seems to be in a bit of a situation where Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, a lot of movies we watched recently, it took us a while to get to the point
Yeah.
in the movie. This got right to the point. You know, he met a girl. There was some chemistry between them. He sees her later, and then he's going to help her out. Like, it's no wondering what's going on. Who is this person? Why they talk? What are they talking about? Did I miss something? You know,
Yeah.
it was pretty much straightforward. I like that.
Well, so when I say she's put herself in a situation, the people that invited her here to model, basically are treating her like a prostitute. And I guess she kind of told them off. And the rules in this country are a little different. Women can't speak to men in a certain way. And so basically the guy felt disrespected. And of course, Mickey, he's got to go play hero. And then they have a bodyguard that's also some kind of champion that the Emperor was telling Mickey, and Mickey didn't care. Now, this is the only part that made me mad. Mickey, they made it seem like Mickey already took this guy out, but they didn't show us. Why didn't you show us how he took him out?
Yeah, they didn't.
Because all they did is
go ahead, Joe.
He's going to talk. He's talking to this gentleman that's disrespecting Layla, and he's like, so and so is going to show up any minute. He's going to be mad. He goes, yeah, I don't think he's showing up. Then you see someone come flying out of the kitchen, going, we need an ambulance. So obviously something happened. They just didn't show us what happened.
Well, they kind of did. They showed us his knuckles. Because as he was sitting there with Layla, and she took his hand or whatever, and she kind of looked at his hand. We saw that his knuckles were bruised, and I was thinking like, well, that's strange. Like a jujitsu guy is fighting, like he's using his fist to fight. He didn't choke him out or break his arm or nothing like that. It's kind of funny that that's what they chose to focus on, was his knuckles being red. But so still, I didn't have a problem with it.
The Emperors also stuck up for Mickey. And Mickey asked for him to have Layla sent home because she was brought there on their dime. So obviously, you beat up their people and piss them off, they're not going to send you home. So he did that, and then they show him later. He's home. He's with his buddy Taco, and she shows up at is it like a car shop or an auto shop or something like that?
Yeah, I believe so.
And she's there looking for him, and for whatever reason, Taco's making her feel stupid for coming here to look for him.
Yeah, this part I didn't really care for because it seemed a little fake.
Well, it's just why are you making this girl who's looking for your boy like this? You're not a good friend.
Well,
I'm saying if I met a good-looking girl on a plane and she came looking for me at my place of business or whatever, and my friend is blocking me, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, Taco wanted her for himself.
Well, screw him. That's even worse. That is not a good friend. Listen, no. I'll make sure she has some friends or something, but that's not cool.
Taco was that throughout the whole movie. Like, he was a real friend. He was a good guy. Yeah, I just knew he was gonna die. I was like, yeah, somebody's gonna kill this guy. That's how it always happens. The best friend always dies, gets in an accident, gets shot up, gets beaten up, some revenge, something.
You're saying on those times of distress, you need to be the worst person to people, so that way you got some chances of living.
I guess, right? Yeah.
So he does show up, but she's hiding, and he's talking about her.
And this was weird.
He's so in love. He barely even knows this girl. He's so in love and this and that, and he's gonna marry her and all this stuff. He's just got to find her. And this dude's not saying nothing.
I didn't like that part.
He waited until the next day. He waited for the next day to give him the number.
Yes, that didn't make any sense. She's there. Why didn't she just walk out? That didn't make any sense either. I didn't like that though. But honestly, this is the only scene in the movie that I didn't care for. Just this part right here, because I didn't like the dialogue. I've never went over to my homeboy's house and then start, talking like that. Like how he was talking about how much he loved her and was in love with her, or couldn't stop thinking about her and all of that. Like, who does that? Like that was strange. That was a little strange to me. But, it is what it is.
Hey man, good love story. Good luck.
Right.
So they get married, and they go to kind of start their family, and during all that, because she does end up getting pregnant, he gets a call back to Dubai for a tournament. and the tournament is just 20K, 25K just to show up and get beat. But if you win, you get another 100. So I mean, he's looking at this payday because now he's got a kid on the way. He could put a down payment on a house. Like for him, he's like, yeah, and he thinks he can win this thing.
Yeah.
So now the only thing they don't really make clear is this. I mean, it's in Dubai, so it's probably not like sanctioned under some kind of organization or anything. It didn't really seem like it did it.
No, I mean they weren't even in an arena. They had tents in the desert or something. It didn't look like like when they show us from the helicopter view or the plane view coming in, it just looks like tents that were nice looking tents that were in in the desert. So I don't believe there was any type of governing body. I think this was almost like on some underground Kumite type stuff.
I mean, yeah, kind of what it looked like because they showed him even in the desert building the whole arena. So Mickey kind of is the dark horse in this whole thing. I guess everyone else is kind of a bit famous in their own way, but he shows up and like nobody knows who he is except for the emperor and his son. So his first fight, he goes out like 12 seconds, makes the guy submit. Next fight, a guy that's so much bigger than him. He gets behind him, chokes him out. He has no problem until he gets all the way to the end. Now his way of fighting, he's a very respectful fighter. He bows, he shakes your hand and everything like that. Well, I don't know if this dude was just being an asshole or if he thought like he would have got beat. So the second Mickey bows and goes to shake his hand, he knees my man right in the face. And I mean, he couldn't even recover from that and just gets destroyed. I mean, absolutely messed up. At the end of it, he's in the hospital. He's got 2 busted retinas. One's hanging, by a thread, they're saying, and he could lose his vision and all this. The dude just got his ass whooped. Yeah. And it sucks because it's like he couldn't even do nothing once the guy gave him the cheap shot. And I mean, that's not a way to win a fight, man.
Well, remember too, this was set in 92 at this point, right? So think about those original UFCs. They were wild like this. Like there were no rules.
Bro, I think they said the only thing there was no
biting, eye gouging, and probably
no nut shit. No, there was actually. I think there was one fight. You would know this, Gene.
You know what? You might be right. I can't.
He was like literally punching his crotch like the whole because he got him on like a crucifix and was punching his crotch the whole time.
Yeah, you might be right. I can't remember, but
eye gouging and no biting. I think growing was legal.
You might be right. You might be right.
And at that time, I think you were able because I remember Bill Wallace was not. I remember I wasn't alive, but I seen the videos. Bill Wallace was one of the commentators, and you were at that time you were able to kick. Even if the one knee was on the floor, you were able to kick, and the sumo guy got his like tooth knocked out. So if you think about it, I think in that terms, like I didn't even think about it that way. But the movie hit on it pretty head on. Like at that time, that's really what.
Yeah, because he got smashed. He definitely got smashed and beat up in that fight. Oh, yeah. And I had to pull myself back because I'm thinking like the referee's going to stop it, and the referee wasn't stopping it. Like Taco was getting, Taco didn't know what to do because Taco wanted to throw the towel in, but Mickey said no, but his girl is right there, screaming to throw it in, So
it's like Apollo Creed all over again.
Mm-hmm. That's what this movie kind of made me feel. Also, it kind of reminded me of the first Rocky.
It's like Rocky with MMA. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
So this guy, he comes back and he's recovered. He has a son, and they move forward a few years, and he's teaching at a martial arts school, but he's not teaching like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's a regular martial arts school just to make a little extra cash. He's also a bouncer. So those are kind of his 2 jobs. No? Yeah, he had to run a few classes.
He was doing privates.
Okay.
So he wasn't like he was on the schedule or anything like that.
But later they kind of showed like one of the instructors kept calling him, basically was calling him gay for doing the jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. And, that shit pisses me off because when I wrestled And wrestling, I'm gonna tell you right now, compared to karate, wrestling was one of the most grueling sports I've ever done. And they used to do, some of the football players used to pull that whole gay stuff all the time and all that. And I'm like, why don't you come here one time and see what we actually do? Okay, just because two people are locked together and trying to, pin, like, stop that whole shit, man.
Yeah,
That is just some of the best UFC people are wrestlers, jujitsu, like all that stuff is just a way of fighting, man. It's two people going toe to toe. It's no different than boxing. Okay, sorry that boxing doesn't have them getting right up next to each other, but they're just two warriors.
I don't think that was I don't think why people say stuff like. I think it might have been the onesie outfit.
Oh well, the onesies didn't help. I'll give them that.
Yeah, that definitely helped. Yeah. I think that might have been the issue. Like, what do you think if people wrestle in a t-shirt and shorts? I don't think people would have said anything negative about that.
Well, now people wrestle in cards and the rash cards now.
Yeah.
I think I will say when I was doing jujitsu, I've had like some people be like, man, I don't know how you do it. I can't have a guy's like junk in front of my face and this and that.
You really don't even think about it.
And I tried telling people, I was like, yo, when you're in the moment, like when you start jujitsu class, you feel so, if you like, all right, so I tell people all the time, like someone like me, like I do striking, right? And I feel confident with my striking. So then go to the floor and then feel like you like have no power, you have no nothing, like you literally have no defense. You're not saying, well, I hope this guy's junk is not in my face.
You're saying, exactly.
You're saying like, yo, I just hope he just doesn't choke me out again.
There's one other thing you're thinking also, Angel.
What, his sweat don't get in my mouth?
Nah, I don't want nobody farting in my face. That's what I'm saying. I want nobody farting in my fucking face.
No,
you're not wrong on that one.
The first time I did jujitsu, and like not even along the lines of like, oh, it's gay or this or that. I think the only thing I wasn't prepared for was just like, you know how I've never really felt anyone's like sweat like all on me, like their sweat all on me. That part at first was like, I was like, man, like I just feel like gross. But then when you like I said, like, who the hell, like, I just think when people say that, I'm like, yo, that's just so ignorant sometimes. Like,
hey man, I'm back into jujitsu now, and I enjoy it. I love it.
I love jujitsu. I love it. Jujitsu is man. So, and same thing. I think if I would have did, I always tell people my biggest regret is I wish I would have did wrestling in high school, just because I was like,
I'm telling you right now, it was one of the best things I ever did. Because after doing martial arts for so long, like it was the only other thing. Like I was very good at it, very quick. Like the coaches were like, "How long you just started?" Like because I picked it up because it was one of the closest things to martial arts.
Yo, to be real with you, when you do like if you've been doing like martial arts for so long, like even when I was doing jujitsu, some of the instructors they used to tell me they're like, yo, like it's like you're just so fast. Like it's just crazy how like people think they have you in a hold and then you're able to like just get out real quick. But it's just because of the martial arts that we do. But yeah, man, like it translates really well when you have when you just have a clear head. It translates well.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead, he ends up going. He ends up sending the students out after he's teaching them a couple of choke holds, and he locks the door and he tells this instructor. He tells this. I love this part. He tells this instructor the 3 moves he's gonna do to beat him, and then he says, and then just to let you know it's not a fluke, I'm gonna let you back up and let you attack me again, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing to you. And he does exactly that. And this dude can't do nothing about it. He could have done this 7, 8, 9 times. The same result would have happened. This guy was just shocked. He just looked at him like, what? And he thought he was going to destroy him, and it did not happen.
He
why does he look like Mike Barnes, by the way?
He did. He did.
I was him at first. For a second, I was like, oh shit, that's Mike Barnes.
But you know, the nice thing, like what Mickey did, was he didn't want to embarrass him in front of his students, so he let the students leave first.
Yeah, but they were still watching from the window.
Well, he didn't know that, but yeah, you're right. I like that part too. All right, keep going, man.
So, was it this promoter's kid, like the Don King, played by Dennis Quaid, who found the video, an old video?
I don't think it was his kid. I think it was somebody else.
Anyhow, I don't know who these 2 kids were, but they find this. They were going.
Yeah, they make it go viral.
Yeah, fight videos, and they find the old video of Mickey versus the boxer that beat him up, or the kickboxer who beat him up.
Yeah, that was
And-
Edson Barbosa also playing that part. His name was Marco.
And because Marco's undefeated, he's going around, he's just beating everybody up. And the kid says, there's a certain fight I found of my dad had on video, and even though Marco's undefeated, I got this fight that where he took a cheap shot on somebody and beat him up that way, and it was that fight. So he puts it online, and it goes viral through all these fight people and everything. And basically they kind of set it up to where they got to get this fight because this dude's looking like a punk. Like, people are calling him out, and he wants the fight. The problem is, like I said, the Dana White or the Don King, played by Dennis Quaid, like he's kind of scared of this fight. He's trying to get it not to happen because it's going to make his fighter look bad if he doesn't win this fight outright. So they when they're trying to set this fight up, because he's not going to be able to pass a physical with that eye, the one eye with the detached retina. He says, "Oh, I got a doctor that'll pass you." Well, Dennis Quaid's character steps in and says, "Nah, man, like he sends a actual doctor, and so he doesn't pass the physical, and we don't see nothing about it again until later." Now, the other thing that I forgot to mention is, while they're talking about this and they're trying to see if he still has it, one of his guys, Pitt, comes over, one of his old friends who has his own gym, and he comes over with a fighter, like a current Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy who's like the top of his game, but Mickey doesn't know who this guy is, and tells him go ahead and roll with him, and Mickey beats the crap out, like
every time.
Stupid. And for the whole time, the guy's getting pretty mad. Like, he's like, but Mickey makes him look stupid. And then Pitt goes, "Dude, do you know who that is?" He goes, "No, I don't know who that is." He tells him, he's like, "Yeah." Like, he's giving this guy who's the champion pointers because he just rolled him up and made him look stupid. So he's like, "Oh, he definitely still has it." But like I said, they couldn't pass the physical, so no fight. You guys got anything?
No, I think they were going to have the fight because remember, his wife got pissed.
He couldn't pass that physical, and so in a sanctioned fight, he's not going to be able to fight. And like I said, unless they get a doctor that'll pass him, but the promoter, the original fight promoter, is not going to let that happen. Because like I said, he's scared of who it is. Now, the other thing that came up that's going to be a little bit important down the road is he told a story about his own father, and his father's name was O'Flannery. So, and his name is Mickey Kelly. And what happened was he did not have a good relationship with his father. He hated his father. So he actually went and illegally took on his mom's maiden name, which was Kelly. And I'll bring up in a few minutes why that's important, because it comes back towards the end. So the other big event that happens before we do actually set up this fight is Mickey is waiting to be picked up by his wife, and she gets hit by a car and dies.
Right.
Dude ran a stop sign. Yeah. And it really changes him a lot because, it changes his faith. He was very into God and everything. The only thing he's really living for now is his kid. And it's very obvious.
One thing
off at the world.
One thing that we didn't really talk about, Joe, is you touched on it about the eye. We didn't realize. I mean, he could only see out of one eye. I think he's got blurry vision out of the other one. I think that was. It seemed like it was only the one eye we were seeing because I never saw both sides. It seemed like in the way it was shaped, it kind of looked like it was just the one eye that he was looking out of. And the reason I say that is because at the end of this whole movie, he can't see anything anymore.
Yeah, because they said he had two detached retinas, and the one was almost like completely gone. So, which is messed up, and a busted eye socket, which is even worse. So that he kind of basically he's upset, he's pissed, and then he gets a call from his friend in Dubai. He wants to see this fight happen. And like I said, even though the promoter doesn't want it to happen, the fighter wants it to happen. He wants to prove that, he doesn't have to, win by taking cheap shots and everything. and so they got to take this fight on. And this time it's 75 to show up, and I think it's 200 altogether just to win the fight. And this is, he's got to do this. He wants to set up, a nice place. He wants to set his kid up for college, all this stuff. So he's going to do this, even probably against his better judgment. So they go in training, and they train him to help save his eye, to keep his eye out of danger. They train him a little bit of striking and now what they're going to do is, because on the other side, they know he wants to get it to the ground.
Yep.
So they're going to give him other options to work on other than, like a single leg takedown or something like that. They're going to tell him, try to suplex him down because he won't expect that, and, all that stuff. And then they show the promoter ends up finding out who Mickey Kelly really is with his last name. And now we find out before the fight, they have a connection.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey, while in the Marines, saved his son. And so he's always said, I want to meet the person who saved my son, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that was a nice little twist, because they really didn't talk about him being in the military too much throughout the movie.
Not really. I mean, it was only mentioned really once or twice.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me. And like, how can you not root for this? I know, like, you got to root for your fighter, but how's this dude not going to root for someone like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Right. It was interesting. It made it interesting to me. So we get to the fight, and the guy who's fronting the money is an arrogant asshole. And he's basically telling Mickey, there's no way you're going to win this fight. You might as well back out. And Mickey's telling him, of course, what he's going to do and how he's going to submit this guy and make him look stupid, da-da-da-da-da. So we get into the fight, and of course, the fight kind of goes pretty much how you think it would. They decide this time, before the fight happens, that when they bring him to talk about the rules, if you want to shake hands, do it now.
Yeah, right. Do it now.
They're not going to give a chance for him to, which I don't think he'd be stupid enough to do that again.
No, they neither one of them wanted to shake hands either.
Could you blame them?
No.
So it was a good fight. It was interesting the way they set it up, because there's a huge age difference here. Mickey's 46, the other guy's 31. So I mean, that's rough on itself.
Right.
So basically everyone's kind of saying if he doesn't get him down within 30 seconds, he's going to lose the fight again. And I mean, he gets the dude down in like 12 seconds, gets him in a couple of holds. It's kind of even hitting him, but he does break the hold. And there's also a point. Did it look like the ref was kind of paid off?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Which is even more interesting
because he was getting ready to tap him out. Yeah. And the refs stood him back up, and everybody started booing, and he kind of nodded over. Well, the reason why is because, remember, Mickey went over to the other guy who was in Dubai, and he told him, he said, you know what? You said that $1 million to you is like $1 to me. So instead of me taking the 75,000, I want to fight for the $1 million. It's all or nothing. Either I win this $1 million or I get nothing. That's crazy as hell.
I was going to ask you, I'll take my 75. I'll take my 75 and go.
That's
and
right.
I'm not getting beat up. I'm not getting my ass kicked this time. The second the fight starts going wrong, I'm tapping and I'm done. Give me my 75 and I'm out. I don't care. That $1 million, I mean, literally, okay, you already said this. This fight ends with him being blind for $1 million. I don't care. No, thank you.
Yeah. Can't see his son anymore.
I like to see. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, this round, the next round, it gets bad, and he does get hit, and now he can't see.
Yeah,
so
and his corner wanted to throw the towel in, but he told them because they didn't know, and he said, "You can't. It's all or nothing. Like if I don't win, I don't get anything."
Exactly.
So he had to finish it. Yeah.
So now Taco set up a system, for him to help him see, and he ends up choking my man out. He doesn't let the guy tap. He chokes him out, like puts him out.
He made sure that he could. Yeah, he made sure he couldn't tap. He turned him over on the side and had his arms on the inside, and he just put him out.
So put him out, And then they talk about at the end, he got to the hospital. He had to be put in a coma. They kind of made it seem like he was dead.
Yeah, he did.
Because the interviewer is talking, and they're kind of talking about him in the past tense. And then she mentions she went to the grave, saw Layla's grave, but not his. And then they go all the way to the end, and his son is getting ready to go fight. And he comes out and says, "Dad, the glove fits." Because earlier his dad told him, "You can start training when these gloves fit you." And he said they fit. And he comes out to his son, and you can see he's completely blind, but he's alive.
Yeah.
And I did read there is a second movie in the works.
Okay. All right. So what did you guys think? What grade do you guys give it?
Overall, I really liked it. I give it a solid A. It was a good movie. The martial arts was good. Good story. I enjoyed it.
Angel.
I give it an A also. I thought it was really good.
All right. That's 3 A's. So I'm giving it an A also. All right. So it's pretty good. So, yeah, it has. So the next movie we're going to watch is another movie. It's called Flashpoint. And I got both of these movies from some jiu-jitsu podcasts I was listening to. So this movie, Flashpoint, is supposed to be good also. I haven't seen it. Don't know anything about it. So hopefully it's just as good as this movie.
Okay,
you guys got anything else?
Yeah, real quick. I'm not gonna be here next week because I'm going on vacation. So Tuesday, and I won't be coming back till Thursday. So I don't think I'll have time. So I was just thinking about it earlier.
I'm gonna be on vacation too, but I'm gonna be on vacation at home. I'm not going nowhere.
We're just going up north for a few days. We're going to Mackinac for a few days. So
okay.
We'll have to do it the following week, and then
that's fine.
Yeah, we'll make that work though.
All right, cool. All right, you guys got anything else?
No, I'm good, man.
All right.
Gene, have you ever been to Mackinac Island?
No, I'm really not interested in making that drive.
Oh, it's a good drive. It's a fun.
I'm talking about the bridge. That's what I'm talking about, is driving across that damn bridge.
I thought you can't bring a car over there on the island.
You can't? I thought you could. I thought you had to drive across some bridge. Everybody always talking about that bridge.
To get to the UP.
You gotta take a ferry to get to the island.
Yeah, you can't have a car over there.
Okay. No, I've never been.
See, there you go. So you were scared of the bridge and you can go now.
I'm still that's 7-hour drive, ain't it?
No.
How long is that drive?
4.
That's it. 4 hours?
Oh, it's like Indianapolis.
Well, yeah, that might be then. I also heard it was like 7 or 8 hours and driving across that damn bridge.
No.
I was like, I'm not doing that. No. I'm not doing it. All right. The director made an appearance.
He's been doing it on everyone's show recently.
Somewhat.
Let him.
You got anything else, Travis? You got anything you want us to talk about?
No.
All right, everybody. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week. I guess I'll play the music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.